Hello, is anyone there? I'm trying to keep my eyes looking over here because I'm streaming from my phone. Is anyone there? Is anyone there? Anyone there? Say hello to me if you can see me. Speak to me now. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me? I don't see anyone. Comment. Say hello to me so I can know that someone is there. I probably have to start over. Oh, good afternoon. Oh, okay, I see. Hello. I'm just here to chat. Just here to chat. Don't want anything. Just want to talk. What do I want to talk about? I just got through creating some content. So I said, let me stop in. Let me see if I can move my phone up a little bit. I said, let me stop in. I was creating some content. I said, let me get in here and see if I can chat with my audience here. How is everyone doing? I'm at home. I'm not outside. You are welcome, Blue Arts 54. You are so welcome. You know, I do my best. To be honest, I really didn't want to come online, to be honest. To be honest, I didn't want to come online, you know, but I had to be obedient. I was tired of getting beat down. Look, I was tired of getting whipped. I didn't want God to be whipping me, so I said, you know what, let me be obedient. And let me get online and do what God says to do and use my voice. And that's what I've been doing ever since. Ever since I've been doing that. Yep. So let me get online and I see why and I understand why he told me to come online. I understand it. I'm looking over here. I have to get used to my camera being over here, so don't think I'm going cuckoo. Don't think I'm going cuckoo, okay? Don't think I'm going cuckoo. I just have to look at the camera, and it's on this side. I'm just used to it being on this side. But how are you guys doing? How is your evening going? My evening is going well. Oh, thank you. But listen, Blue Art 54, I just come and I give messages, whatever God puts on my heart, whatever he tells me to talk about, that's what I talk about. Mostly, it's something I've experienced because I have a whole lot of experience, whole lot of wisdom, and I come and I share it because there are other people that can relate to something I've been through, right? And these messages come from anywhere between the ages of as far as I could remember, from the ages of, I'll say 14, around that time. I'll say around 14 up until my adulthood now. I share messages. I share what I've experienced. I share something I've overcome, and I have overcome a lot of things. I've overcame so many things, and you know, just that, you know, my past pains and traumas and things that I've experienced, I come here and share it. I come here and share it to help others because one thing I've noticed when I talk about things, so many people could relate. Now, some messages are directly sent from God. I don't have time to, none of my messages I plan, right? I just come on and speak. Like today, I'm just speaking. I'm just saying, hey, let's talk about something. I don't know. I don't have anything planned, but if God puts it on my heart to talk about something, I will talk about it. That's what I will talk about. And I have plenty of messages that I have recorded in my phone that I release at certain times. Now that's what I do. I do this. When I record messages on my phone, and if I feel that the message needs to release or God give me that unction, I will release it. But I don't release every message that I record. Not every message. I have so many that I've recorded on my phone that I have there in archives, but I have lots of content that I've been creating. And for whatever reason God has me doing it, I'm doing it. Whatever his reason is, I really don't know. I just go and let him guide me. I really didn't want to come online because, you know, people could be ruthless online. You know, they come with their negativity and all of that. You know, they come challenging your messages, not knowing the intent, you know, right? Not knowing the intent of the message, right? Like, my messages are pure. My messages don't have a, don't have a I don't be having ill intentions. I don't be having anyone in mind. It just be pure, like a pure message. Like it's not to, you know, my email is in the about page, Blue Art 54. You can contact me via my email. It's there. Go to the about page. It's there. So I just come and talk and say what's on my heart, right? Now I don't talk about everything. You have to be wise in some areas, but if God releases me to say it, I'm going to say it. I'm not going to hold back. So what are you guys up to? What is everyone up to this evening? I'm so happy I just got through creating some content. I just got through recording a video earlier. So I'm happy about that. Happy about that. So since I was dressed up, I said, let me come online. I said, let me come online and talk to the people. See what they got going on. Y'all have to excuse me sometimes because I'm silly. You know, I'm very serious, right? Hi, Debbie. I'm very serious when it comes to the messages, but I got this side of me that's just, this fun side. So I can't run from her, right? Because sometimes she'll just pop up every now and then. So that's just who I am. So take it as love. If you see me acting silly and goofy, take it as love. Don't run from me, right? Don't run from it. It's just part of who I am. I love having fun, and I love laughing. I love having fun and laughing. But when it comes to business, I mean business. That's how I used to be at work. Like when I was at work, if a person just want to lollygag about just foolishness or just unnecessary stuff, I won't say foolishness, just lollygag around. If I didn't have my work done, excuse me, if I didn't have my work done, you can't talk to me right now. I'm like, I can't talk right now. I have to finish my work. And then once I finish my work, we can talk. We can chit-chat. We can lollygag. But I didn't talk before I, did my work. I didn't do that. I did not do that at all. So how are you all doing this evening? I am fine. I'm well. I am well. I can't honestly say. I'm doing good. Oh, thank you so much, Debbie. Thank you. I try to make them where they're meaningful, where, people could relate. Where people could relate and try to provide information like wisdom that people could use to apply to their lives, because we don't all have the answers. We don't all have the answers. We're all on our journeys, separate journeys. More so now, a lot of people are just out on their, Oh, I'm so glad you're doing well, Debbie. That is so good. Yeah, a lot of people are just out on their own personal journeys, right? Some people need someone to help them along. Some people need encouragement. So I came on YouTube to be that voice, When the Lord said to go, I went. I had to go. I didn't want, God knows I didn't want to. I fought tooth and nail. I created this channel, I think, in 2020. I think I created this channel in 2020, I think. I have to go back and look. I want to say it was 2020 or 19, one of them, but one of those years. But I sat on it, and I sat there and sat there and sat there. And, and I got that unction to go. Lord said, listen, you need to get online. I'm like, no, I don't want to get online. He was like, yes, you need to go and get online. I'm like, no. I was like going back and forth with God, like in my head, like, no, I'm not getting online. People are just too ruthless. People are just mean. They take your messages and use them for, reasons that you didn't intend for the messages to be used for. They can take your, I was worried about all type of, kind of things. And then, when the Lord said you can't worry about that anymore, either you're going to listen to them or me. Right? You going to go or you going to sit there and then I'm going to still whip you. I'm going to whoop your butt. Because God chastised those he loved. So I'm like, you know what? Let me get on out here and do what he said to do. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. I didn't realize my message would reach so many people. I'm glad I did. Because I needed some encouragement as well. When I was going through or dealing, I needed motivation. I went to YouTube and I started listening to different people on YouTube, like Dr. Miles Monroe. Who else I used to listen to? I used to listen to John Maxwell, a lot of these, people online. Yes, exactly, Debbie. That's what I did, and that's what I did. I just stepped off. I just stepped off the cliff and said, you know what, Lord, I have to, because I got tired of like fighting in the spirit with them, like, wrestling. You know how when something is on your mind or something's on your heart, or God told you to do something, you don't want to do it, and that thing does not give you any rest. You can't rest until you do it. That's what I had to do. I had to do it. I had to come on YouTube because I was not getting any rest. I was not resting at all. I was like, oh, I don't want to go on YouTube. I hesitated. I made all kind of excuses. Oh, this person may see it. That person may see it. This person may think. I had to let go of all that and just do what God told me to do. And I'm so happy I did, because I'm at so much peace. Listen, I'm at so much peace. I got tired of being beat up and kicked and pushed around spiritually, right? It's a spiritual thing. Tossing and turning can't. No, I'm so tired. I was tired. I said, let me do what it is he told me to do. And I did. So, but I'm glad I did. I wouldn't change a thing about it. Yep. So y'all talk to me. What do y'all want to talk about? Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming on to my live. I just stopped in briefly. Let me see what's going on over here. I was trying to log in from my computer, but I wasn't able to. So I wasn't able to do that. So I had to get on my phone. And these phones are but so big, so. Yes, he does, Debbie. He does. He really does. I really had to really step out on faith and just like, you know what, Lord, I trust you. Whatever you're doing, I trust you. Yep. Thank you, Rubia. How are you doing? Thank you for visiting me. Thank you for stopping by the Responsibility Channel. I hope that the messages have been blessing you. I hope so. Oh, thank you, Blue Art 54. I'm gonna try to do more lives. I'm trying to do more lives. Before I wasn't doing more lives because I was trying to get the messages out and just be obedient in that aspect. But I'll start doing more lives to talk to the people and just to come on and be honest and truthful and raw and all of that. Because sometimes we just need somebody to talk to. That's all. Yeah, we just need somebody to talk to. Excuse me. Yeah, we just need somebody to talk to. Hear outside of the story or hear what we have to say. And unfortunately, you have to talk to a stranger because you can't really talk to some people in your family or your so-called friends without feeling like they're going to look at you like you're an alien or something, And sometimes God will just use that, put that stranger in your midst and, to talk to that stranger. That's why it is more comfortable talking to a person you don't know because you feel like they won't judge you, Then if you say certain things to your family members will look at you like, what is, what is wrong with you, So I thank God that he has this social media and people could talk to different people via different platforms. Oh, happy birthday. So me. Happy birthday. God bless you. That's a blessing to live to see 30. That is a blessing. Yes, you are blessed to be at this age. 30, you're blessed. And happy birthday to you. Mm-hmm. Yep. Black Art 54. Yeah, we're all connected and intertwined somehow. Right? I was just talking to a client earlier. We was on the phone for, too long to be honest, but the conversation was so good that we stayed on the phone past the time we were supposed to end, right? Because it was just truly a blessing just to talk to somebody who, is like-minded and, she enjoyed me and I enjoyed her. Yes, you're right. You're right. You're right. Your family knows. Yes, you're right. You're so right. Yes. And I think, hi, Angelia. The messages are going so fast. Hi, Matt Lloyd. Oh, yes, that out of the blue betrayal. You know, I recorded that video last year. And, you know, I record my messages as God give me utterance. You know, I don't just get on and record. Some of those messages I recorded last year. And I just started to upload them to YouTube. But the out of the blue betrayal, yeah, that was the one that hit me. But that's okay, you know, because I understand now. You know, one thing about, and that's what I was telling the client, you know, a few minutes ago. One thing about when you go through betrayal, right? One thing about that, it is painful, but you have to get to the point where you forgive, because forgiveness is spiritual. And if you don't let that go, and I know some people have you know, I know some people have a thing or a saying against forgiveness, right? And forgiveness is not, like they say, it's not for them. Forgiveness is for you, right? And when you let go, you're able to move forward. But when you're not letting go, you can't move forward. That's why so many people become tormented in their minds, right? They become tormented. It leads to depression. It leads to suicidal thoughts, because you're rehearsing. You have let this thing consume you. You're rehearsing it over and over, what someone did, what they said. And I've been betrayed. I have been betrayed a few times, okay? It's been a few times, but I understand spiritually why, and I understand what I have to do to get over that. Excuse me. Excuse me. I've been betrayed. But you know, that's okay. It only made me stronger. And I understand that when I went through that betrayal, that was my setup before I came online, because God was preparing me. He was preparing me for what I may endure online. I know if I can endure the betrayal that I received, right? If I can endure that betrayal I received in 2020, I can stand what's to come online. I think I can stand it, because see, betrayal, when it comes from those who close to you, that thing hit different. You know, you can brush off what somebody says online, right? You can just brush it off like, I don't know them. They don't know me, right? You can brush it off. But when it comes from the people you love and you know, it's like, okay, what just happened? Why? Right? Yes, I'm glad. So me. Yes, you have to take that baggage off. Yes, when you release it, when I tell you, that's the best feeling ever. That's what, you know, through my healing journey, that's what I had to do. I had to unpack some stuff. I had to unpack some religious beliefs. I had to unpack some family beliefs. I had to unpack myself, some self-beliefs like that I had about myself. I had to unpack a lot of stuff. And when I dropped that bag, when I let go of everything that was out of my control, it was up from there. I felt lighter. It was up from there. I really did. I felt so much lighter, right? Oh, wow, Rubia. Gigi, but how what? Let me know, but how? What are you asking? I don't know if you asked the question before. What do you mean, but how? Just let me know. See if I can help you. Yeah, that betrayal, Rubia, that betrayal is, especially from false allegations, case dismissed. Oh, that's good, Rubia. Yes, that is so good. So me. I'm trying to release and let go, but I'm not sure if I understand. What are you not sure of? Do you understand forgiveness, or what is it that you're not understanding? Because, oh, how to brush it off. See, let me be honest with you. I got to be honest. It's simple, but it's not that simple. Because when I talk about forgiveness, and I'm not going to shy away from this. You know, I told the Lord, when I talk this stuff, I need to talk it how I was delivered. And for me, I was delivered on a spiritual level. right? This stuff is spiritual. You have to get with God to, you know, to be able to be released from some of the the traumas and the abuses that many of us face. And mine was spiritual. You know, I had to go through a process with God, right? So that's how I was delivered. That's why I was able to gain my freedom, because yes, that's how I was able to gain my freedom, because this was a spiritual walk. I had to unlearn religion and really go on a journey with God and let him show me what it is I need to do, right? Because one time I thought I needed to see a therapist. I thought I had to go to therapy, and I thought I needed to see somebody, talk to somebody. But, you know, part of my testimony is when I was getting ready to go and try to seek help, you know, from a therapist, you know what a therapist said to me? Not a therapist. You know what the Lord said to me? That I didn't need therapy. He said I need to forgive. And I'm like, Lord, how do I forgive? How do I forgive someone who abused me, hurt me, lied to me, betrayed me? You know, how do I do this, right? I'm like, I don't want to do that. I really didn't want to do it. But he told me to look at myself, look at me. And I had to ask myself, do I want to remain where I'm at, where I was at that time? Do I want to remain depressed? Do I want to remain unhappy? Do I want to remain stuck and stagnant? Do I want to remain in anti-progress, not progressing, get in ahead by 10 steps, only to fall back 30, right? You know, so he showed me, I didn't need therapy. He showed me I needed to forgive. So I was like, Lord, you don't have to help me understand forgiveness. And he took me on a journey to, it's easy. Peacemaker, it's easy to forgive someone who don't admit to their wrong. You don't need them to admit to it. That's the thing. I haven't waited on people to admit to things they did to me just as recently. I didn't wait. Sometimes we want to wait for people to say I'm sorry. They're not going to say that. Some people are not going to say that because they're so broken and bound that they don't understand forgiveness, right? Sometimes we wait for people to say sorry when the issues they're dealing with is bigger and greater than what we're dealing with, right? It's greater and bigger than what we're dealing with. Like, you're waiting for them to say, I'm sorry. They got their demons and their issues they need to deal with. So they're not going to, say I'm sorry. You're just the person that they can inflict their pain on, right? And I know it hurts. Oh, it hurts. I've been there. I still haven't received apologies. But guess what? I said I wasn't going to let that stop me. I wasn't going to let that stop me. I'm going to forgive them anyways. But now, I know a lot of people are, they may disagree with me. Forgiveness does not mean that you have to reconnect. Forgiveness does not mean that you have to break bread with these people again. Right? You just releasing them from off the throne of your heart, because you made these people unintentionally an idol because you don't want to release them. You're worshiping that unforgiveness. You're idolizing. Oh, they did this to me. And I know some of that stuff is painful. Trust me, I've been there. I've been abused. As a teen, I was abused. 14 years old, taken advantage of. 14, 15, 16, 17. I understand. I understand trauma and abuse on a high level. But God is more powerful than that. He's more powerful than the abuse. That's why you can have some people who went through the most horrific pain, right? You got some people who have gone through the most horrific pain, and they're joyous now. They're happy because they learned the art of forgiveness, right? You don't have to forget it. I haven't forgotten what was done to me, but I released the people. I released myself, right? I released myself. I didn't want to be bound. I didn't want to let that person rent space in my head. Tired of thinking about what they did to me. And half of them people, they do stuff to you and they go live their lives. That's what make you mad too. They go live their lives like nothing happened. And they don't get away with it because their spirit is not at peace. You can't inflict pain on people and you go on as if, like nothing happened. Oh, they're not at peace. But you want to be at peace because you want to release them because they have control over you. They are controlling you. You don't want to admit they're controlling you because you think about it. All that time you're thinking about what they did to you. You could have been working on your business or something. You could have been putting that energy and time into your kids. Or your spouse or whomever, or your career or your job. Or it's not easy. It's a process. Healing is a process. Right? It's a process. And process is, so I say forgive, but the pain is still there and I truly do forgive and I'm ready to move forward. Gigi, you will. You can move forward. It's a process. Don't think, listen, don't think that because you made a decision to heal that everything is just going to dissipate. People, we have gotten that wrong. It takes time. It takes time, right? It takes time that, you know, for you to overcome things that happen to you over and over, that repetitive cycle. It takes time. It takes time. It took time for me. I was just telling my client, I went on this healing journey that I've been on 20 years. It took me 20 years. You know, it took me 20 years. But God sent me here to the people online so y'all don't have to take as long as I took. You won't have to take 20 years after you get the information, after you get the steps, after you know what to do. Because you know, when you get knowledge, you can change things, right? When you get knowledge, things could be different. When you don't know, you just don't know, right? You just don't know. But when I start getting knowledge and understanding on a spiritual level, that this thing is, yes, that this thing is bigger than, yes, yep, Gigi, yep, you got to ask for it. And just be willing to, you know, one thing, let me tell you, be honest with you, Gigi. I'm going to be honest with you now. You know, when I have my coaching clients, I be real with them, right? And let me tell you why. Because I don't want them looking at me as if I'm a savior. I'm not God. I'll never be God. I'm a vessel that he uses, right? But one thing about when you ask God, when you ask him to heal you, you better be ready for them results. You better be ready for what he show you. He's going to show you yourself first. Be honest with you. You have to be ready for that. You have to be ready for, you know, you have to be ready to look at yourself first. And once you get over that, I think you'll be good to go. Because that first blow, when he show you, you're not going to like it. You're not going to like it. Because most of the times we could look at what other people have done to us. That's all we could see, what they did to us, right? We don't see what we have done, maybe, to other people. Or what our heart looks like, right? What is our heart posture? We don't see that. When God showed me, I'm like, I'm like, oh, that's not me. That's somebody else. I was in denial, you know? So when he shows you your heart, you have to, you have to be ready. I'm like, listen, I'm like, Lord, you sure? You sure that's me? You sure you haven't, you know, showed me somebody else's issues? So once I dealt with that, I was all right. It was easier for me to forgive. I'm like, you know what? I got my own issues. You know, I'm dealing with my own stuff. So I have to forgive that person or those people. And the thing is, you don't have to keep going, right, into the environment that hurt you. You don't have to keep going into the environment. And I'm going to say this. Some of you all, your families are just, well, I say your blood relatives, because family is different. I'm going to say your blood relatives. Some of y'all just go around your blood relatives and keep letting them re-inflict pain on you, instead of just staying away from your blood relatives. That's different from family, right? You don't have to hate your blood relatives, but we have to remember, people, regardless if they're blood relatives or not, people are flawed. And the thing with our blood relatives is we expect our expectations be so high of these people, right? Our expectations be so high of them that we let our guard down around them, and that's why they're able to inflict so much pain on us, right? We've been taught that your blood relatives, what we call family, right? We've been taught that they're supposed to be there for you, support you. But we all know, and this is another thing, we all know that everybody's blood relatives are not the same. You have some people who say, I can't believe you don't talk to your family, or I can't believe this, with some of you all, right? With some of you all, you could say, well, how could you not talk to your family? How could you not talk to, your siblings or whomever? People ask that. Why you don't talk to your family? I love my family, Some people are like, I love my family. I have a loving family, caring family. And that may be true for you. But a lot of people don't have loving family members. A lot of people don't have support from their families. A lot of people's families are into all types of dark arts and different things like that. A lot of people don't have that support, right? So you can't base how you were raised and compare your life with someone else's life, because some people's families were all out to destroy them. Some people's families were all out to take them off this earth. Well, they're relatives. I'm going to say family, because family wouldn't do you like that. Blood relatives. And this isn't new. Some of this stuff is just reflecting from the Bible stories. Some of your blood relatives. Yes, Larry, accept them for who they are. Yes, blood relatives. It cuts deep, Linda. You're talking to somebody with some experience. Experience here. But I understand. Now I understand. Right? I understand that I judge the tree by the fruit it bears. I don't care if it's blood relative. Whatever's on your tree, the fruits on your tree, that's how I'm going to judge you. There's no longer church people as well. Yep. That's true. Church people as well. Yep. Yes, your family can. Oh, yes. Dion, I don't know if that was Dion. Yes, your family could stop you. Not just I would say family. Your relatives could stop you, not family. Your family will prepare you, but your blood relatives will stop you. They will. They'll keep you hindered because you pledge your allegiance. Some of y'all have pledged your allegiance, not only to the flag, but you pledged your allegiance to your family. Your allegiance is to that family dysfunction. You have pledged your allegiance to it. Your allegiance into keeping the family curse alive. You're gonna keep that curse alive. That's your allegiance is to that. No, I'm not keeping no curse alive. I'm breaking every curse that I see. I'm breaking every curse in the bloodline. Even if I have to do it by myself, I'm breaking them cycles. I'm not pledging my allegiance. I'm not going to follow. And see, a lot of you all are being attacked by your blood relatives because those spirits that are in them, they don't like them spirits in your family members. Your relatives, they don't like that you're heading in a different direction from the pack. The pack is over here. The pack is over here, and you're the long lost sheep. You're trying to bob and go your own way. Oh no, they're gonna come. Them demons gonna come get you. Y'all don't laugh at me. Them demons gonna come get you. You know the pack over here. They congregated. They in a clique. They do the same foolishness. But you over here, the little lost sheep. You trying to find your own little way. You trying to mosey along. Oh no, them demons. They gonna come for you. They gonna come attack you, and they gonna attack everything you stand for, right? They gonna attack everything you stand for. They gonna attack what God is trying to do in you, right? So your fight is always gonna be fighting the good fight of faith. You gonna always have to fight the good fight. As long as you trying to break them curses. Oh, you gonna keep fighting. And that's the hardest thing. Right? That's the hardest thing. You trying to break away from tradition and all that. That's the hardest thing. That's the hardest thing to do. You have to be a strong individual to fight and fight the good faith, the good fight, the good fight of faith. You got to be strong. And 9 times out of 10, you are strong. That's why God chose you. You are strong because you've been the one going and fighting all your life. You know, you like Celie. You know, Celie on Color Purple. All my life I had to fight. One time when I was going through my breakthrough, I just felt like I just wanted to break down like Celie on The Color Purple. All my life I had to fight. I had to fight my mama. Had to fight my dad, my grandma. I'm making light of it, but it's true. You know it's true. You had to fight them spirits. Shoot, you had to fight them spirits. Yeah, I mean, like you just, little engine that could, I think I can. I think all the little nursery rhymes. You thinking you can, as soon as you think you can, them spirits say, come back here. And you got to start all over again, you know. But God is building your strength. He's strengthening you in that time. You the one that's going to be able to break it because you're the stronger one. And that's why your relatives didn't like that. Right? Yeah. Your relatives didn't like that because they saw that strength on you. They saw that you were the stronger one, right? You were different. And when people see that difference on you, you know, they're going to attack what they don't understand. They're going to attack that difference instead of asking. And then you can't expect for them to ask because that's why they're still in the situation they're in. We have to be realistic here now. Come on now. We have to be realistic. That's why you got to distance yourself for a little bit. It's okay. It's okay to distance yourself from your family. Oh, they're going to talk about you. They're going to do everything. They're going to talk about you and do everything. They're going to do everything. But you have to keep going. Yep. You have to keep going. And that's why God, you ever notice everybody who God used in the Bible, he called them alone. He called them by themselves. He didn't call them with no clique. He didn't say, Joseph, come with thy family. Come with thy brethren. Jonah, you come with thy family, your blood relatives. No, he called them people alone. David, you come with the clique with your posse. You come with your posse. Hey, Julie, welcome. You come on with your posse. No, he called them people alone. Yes, our relationship with God is more important. It's more important. Yes, it is. Yes, he called them alone. I know, Gigi. I try not to be myself. You know, I try not to be myself, but it comes out. It comes out. And you know what God told me? He said, I'm going to use that too. When God told me to come online, he told me to be myself. So I'm being myself. When he called me online, he said, be you. And I'm being me. Authentic. I grew up country, right? Sometimes I say finna. I don't put my endings on my words, but that's me. Right? Yep, that's me. So, but yeah, I'm a comedian. But yes, when God called you, he called you alone. And people are not going to understand that. And that's what I had to realize. That's why I talk about self-healing. That's why I did my self-healing masterclass today. I just got through recording it. And yes, and only one person. He's not calling you and your twin. Even if you have a twin, he's not calling y'all together. He's going to call one of them twins and he's going to leave one of them over there. No, I want you. You know, and that's what happened to me. When God was calling me, I was trying to bring everyone with me. I was trying to bring my friends. Oh, you know, I'm going to this, you know, this speaking engagement. I'm going to this, you know, this event. Come go with me. No, God was sending me on that journey. That's why things never worked out. I was always trying to bring some people along. Now I love being alone. I love spending that time alone. Being alone doesn't mean you're lonely, right? Just because you're alone don't mean you're lonely, right? I love spending my time alone. I have children. I have 4 children. 4. And I love being alone. Before, I wasn't always like that. I always had to bring my children, my husband, or somebody. Or I love spending that time, especially in the morning, my quiet time, when I'm praying and coming into my meditation and prayer. Oh, I love that time. I love that time. Any little festivals that are going on in the city, I love just going by myself. You know, I didn't know who I was, to be honest. I didn't know who I was. I had to get to this point to be okay with spending time with me. I always liked myself, but I don't think I always loved myself at one point because I didn't know who I was. Yep, I didn't know who I was. So once I learned to love myself, and when you love yourself, you're not going to let anybody talk to you any type of way. You're not going to let people mistreat you, right? You're not going to allow that. You're not going to allow people to say anything to you and you still try to run behind them. You still try to, you see a person deliberately mistreating you or disrespecting you or leaving you out of something or trying to ostracize you, you know? You deliberately see this. If you love yourself, you will stand up, you will speak up. You're not going to be going around people, family, well, relatives that are slandering your name, talking bad about you for the sake of, I need to be with my relatives. No, when God calls you apart, he's going to separate you. You're going to see the difference. He's going to separate the wheat from the tare. The wheat is over there and the tare. He's going to separate you. You're going to know a difference. Oh, they're going to see the difference. That's kind of like Joseph. The story of Joseph, I was reading that, but I got the story of Joseph and David kind of mixed up at one point. But it's just like the story of Joseph. I'm not going to get into all the details, right? It's in Genesis somewhere in there. Somewhere, let me see. I was reading that story. And his brothers were so jealous of him. Because he had a dream, right? And people, your relatives will get mad at you. Siblings, relatives, they'll get mad at you. They'll get jealous because you have a dream or because God has called you and separated you. But what I didn't like about Joseph's siblings was that God gave Joseph a gift. And and Joseph told them that they were going to have to bow to him one day, right? Just go read it. But instead of the brothers looking at, they had a gift themselves, they wanted to attack Joseph. They wanted to attack Joseph because Joseph had a dream. He was a dreamer. But his brothers were interpreters. They were able to interpret the dream. And the daddy, right? You see, they got gifts too. But because Joseph's gift seemed to be greater and he was, excited, he gave, that light. He had that light on him. They attacked him. They attacked him instead of looking at, they had a gift. They were chosen as well. But they allowed their jealousy, right? They allowed their jealousy of their brother to throw him in the pit. But he went from the pit to the palace. But that was okay. And that's what God is doing to some of you. You got your Joseph experience. Yeah, Gigi, yeah. Girl, God gave me revelation. He gave me revelation of that. They had a gift, but they sitting there jealous of Joseph, right? So some of you all going from the pit to the palace. And when I was reading that story, regardless of what Joseph went through, God had already gave him that dream, right? When God called you, you can go through hell and back. You're going to end up where he wants you to be. You're going to end up exactly where he wants you to be. Joseph, it took 17 years, I think, for that dream to come to fruition for Joseph. Because he was a young man when he had that dream. I think he was a young man, yeah. He was young, and I think he was 30 when everything came to pass, when his dad and his brothers had to bow to him because he was over Egypt. All the food, and he was, ruling over Egypt. Yeah, he went from the pit to the palace. So regardless, if God called you, you're going to get there. If God called you, you're going to get there. You're going to get there whether I don't care how you look. You're going to get to where he called you to be. You're going to get there. You just have to, and it's hard. I'm not going to sit here and lie and act as if it's easy. You just have to keep the faith. You have to keep pressing in God's word. And you have to deal with you. Once you learn how to deal with you and be okay with being alone, not lonely, but alone, and let God do that work in you, because God always call you away from your family. He called you away because you're going to get caught up in traditions. Because that's how I was. I was just so caught up in what my family had going on. Hold on. Let me wash my hands here. It's allergy season. I'm here in Florida with these allergies. So sometimes you get caught up in You can get caught up, yes, you got to know yourself. You can get caught up with what your family going on, the traditions, the things they do every year, and you're not even focused on doing your own work on you. You know, that's a distraction, right? That's a distraction. So when you're distracted, you can't even focus on what God is calling you to do for yourself, your inner self. You can't focus on that because you're too busy going to traditions and cookouts and parties. That's not doing anything for your spirit. I don't care how many ribs you eat. You still gonna have that brokenness. You can eat 1,000 ribs, okay? You can go, I don't care what kind of pound cake you get. Macaroni and cheese and collard greens. When you leave from that cookout, not only are you gonna be gassy, not only are you gonna be gassy and just bloated and tired, you know, feeling sluggish from all that soul food. It's about soul food. Ain't no soul food. Ain't nothing soul about that food. That food mess you up. Have you in the hospital. Have you in the hospital over there. But ain't nothing soul about that food. They should have named it hospital food. It's about soul food. That's why we got all these different ailments too. That's another thing. See how tradition keep you going these same cycles, eating all this same craziness. Don't get me wrong. Now, I love me some ribs. But I've cut back on that stuff because it don't serve my soul. Yes, exactly. Braves Club may take my soul. Talk about soul food. And you around here with high blood pressure. You gonna eat a slab of ribs and you still and talk about God heal me. No, God is not gonna heal you. Stop eating them ribs. That's your healing. You put that slab of ribs down. That's what you put that slab of ribs down, that blood pressure will go away. Okay? you blood pressure healed, right? Exactly. Exactly. You know, like we just sit here and do craziness. But I forgot what I was talking about. I know I cracked myself up, Jeezy, too. I forgot what I was talking about. So what was I talking about? Oh, but I know, I know God do. He call you, and He do a work in you, so you can be, you know. He always called that Joseph away from the family, you know, because Joseph is strong, right? This spiritual. You got to take this spiritually now. I'm saying Joseph, but in the spirit, it could be a female or male. You know, Joseph is that strong person. Joseph is that fighter. You see how he fought Potiphar's wife off him. You know, Potiphar's wife tried to give him some. Joseph said, I didn't want that. You know, God taking me somewhere. She trying to give this man. That's what happened. She trying to throw herself on this man. And he was like, no, you think I'm going to mess up what I have? You think I'm going to mess up what I have? You know, your husband got me over everything. And you trying to come throw yourself onto me. And she see them demons get mad. Them demons get mad at you when you don't submit to them. And when you don't bow to them. You see how she got mad at that man and lied on him? Because he didn't want to, you know, come into her, as King James Version said. Go into her. You know, they have their little words. She got mad at the man. You know, she saw that light on him, saw how buff he was and, you know, nice looking brother, you know. I'm sure he was. Yeah. He was trying to be about his father's business. She over there trying to get that man to sleep with. And no, he was focused. And that's what happens. And that's why you got to be spiritually equipped and aware. And, you know, because people will lie. See how she lied on him? She lied on that man. Told Potiphar's wife, told that the man tried to take her. No, you tried to give it, and that man didn't want to take it, get it. So you lied on him because you were rejected, and you didn't like that. And that's going to be your journey. That's going to be, that's going to be your journey. That's going to be your journey. People going to lie on you. Just go read it for yourself. Read it for yourself. Yep, read it for yourself. She didn't want to just read it. And people going to do you like that. That's just part of the process. Lie on you, try to make you look bad, and you just have to pray and ask God to help you to release those people and stay away from them and move on. But yeah, everybody got the Joseph, you know, that Joseph effect. You're still going to be blessed. You're still going to end up where God is calling you. Right? You still going to end up where God is calling you. Yep. He went from the pit to the palace. He still ended up. And he still had, you know, he still had, not just love for his siblings. He still had compassion for them. He still had compassion. He had compassion for him. Yep, he had compassion for him. He wept. When it said he wept, I wanted to weep too because I felt his pain. He said he wept when he saw his brothers, when they were coming to get food from Egypt. But we are going to experience our Joseph moment, especially the chosen ones, especially the ones who are just called and set apart. And that's just part of it. That's part of it. Yeah, religion has not served us well. I grew up in the church. Not saying I didn't learn anything from church, because I learned a lot, you know. But as far as going deeper, religion messed a lot of us up. And I'm not a scholar, you know. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I just know from experience. Religion has, you know, religion just doing traditions and routines and doing programs and all that craziness that didn't serve us, that really messed us up. Yep, it messed us up. But yep. So home groups, what do you say, Rubio? Home, I don't know what you're asking. Are you talking to me or just someone in the chat? I'm not sure. But yeah, most of us will experience that, but that's okay. That's okay. Just how Joseph went from the pit to the palace. We're, you know, some of us are going to go from the pit to the palace. And you're going to look back and say, it was all worth it. Everything that I've experienced was all worth it. And not only are you going to say it's worth it, excuse me, you're going to say you had to go through it, right? You're going to say, you know what? If I didn't go through that, I wouldn't be where I am. Because every process is just preparing you for your next level. You got to be able to handle this stuff, right? Look how well Joseph handled managing all of the wealth of Egypt. God gave him favor. And not only that, you know what else I learned? I made some little notes from this one story. Not only from that, in the story of Joseph, it was like no matter where he went, he was favored. He was favored in the pit, in the prison. He was favored in the prison. You know? Oh, and another thing, what I got from that story, another revelation that I got was that not only was he favored wherever he went, he was favored, right? He was favored, but his gift made room for him. That's what's wrong with some of you all. Your gifts. You're not using your gift. His gift made room for him. His gift made room for him. I want to say, yeah, it's the story. It's the same story. His gift made room for him because he was able to interpret them dreams. Yes, he was a dream interpreter. Not only was he skilled in business management, he was a dream interpreter. His gift made room for him. That's how he got out of prison. That's what's wrong with you all. You're not using your gift that people can't send for you. People can't send for you because you're not using your gift. You ever notice gifted people, they don't have to advertise much. When you're gifted, oh, people gonna find you. They gonna find you. Break an arm, right? Break that arm. Fall in and break an elbow. Yep. Break an elbow. You're gonna go find a doctor. You're gonna go look up orthopedic specialist. You're gonna Google orthopedic specialist. You're gonna go find somebody to help you with that bone. Yeah, his gift made room for. I got so much revelation from that story. Yep. So much revelation. His gift made room for him. And brought him before a king. Just like the Bible says. Your gift will make room for you. That's Proverbs. What is that? Proverbs 18? Somebody tell me. Google it. Proverbs 18 is something. His gift made room for him. Brought him out of prison. They sent for him in prison. I know a man. I know a man who can help you. But unfortunately, we all know that people will yes, people will be jealous of those gifts. They'll be jealous, unfortunately, but that's part of it. You got to know how to handle that, you know? to know how to handle it and deal with it. Don't let it consume you. Yes. Give yourself some you got to, I guess, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for what's to come. If you know, see, if somebody would have told me that everything you have to experience when you try to live right, when you try to live right, even when you're not living right, you're still going to experience stuff. But if I would have saw like if I would have saw what I had to go through on this journey, I would have been like, Lord, get somebody else to do it. That little saying they have. I would like, get somebody else to do it. But I couldn't say that, because I'm the one that he chose. I can't say that. I could be disobedient because, whoever God chooses and calls, you going to do it. Whether you want to or not, you better ask Jonah. You going to do it, whether you want to or not. He going to make you do it. I don't care if you're 100 years old, you still going to be fulfilling that purpose. You're going to be 100. I'm 100 years old trying to run from the calling. And you still going to have to do it. You still going to have to do it. He may, there's probably some stories in the Bible where he gave the calling to someone else. I don't know, but from what I've seen and read, you have to, you're going to have to do it. You can't run. You can run, but you can't hide. Either you surrender or just get beaten down. One or the two. But anyways, I'm glad you all came in to hang out with me. It has almost been an hour. And yes, Blue Art, yes, repent. That's what I had to go through. Yes. That's what I had to go through. Repent, forgive, release. Yes. Yes, Rubia. I couldn't read it all because it disappeared, but exactly. Yep. He will do it. He will do it. Wherever you are in the pit, he will do it. We all had our pit and dark moments. We all had our dark times. And you ever notice that when you are going through, when you are going through your moments, right? When you're going through your pit experience, you be down there by yourself. God don't call you, and that's what people don't understand. We think we could go in these groups and we can go get fed and stuff in these different organizations and different churches. But when God calls you, half of the times he don't even call you inside of a church building. He don't call you inside of no church building. That's what religion taught us. Like, he gonna call you at the altar. No, he gonna call you at the altar. Some of y'all, he called in them nightclubs, Called you at home in the shower. Called you in the garden somewhere. You sitting out there talking to God, asking him questions, and he laid on you. Boom. Hit you in the head. You just fall over. Ow. You just have the little moment. Yes, he's doing that too. Larry, he's doing that big time. I saw that in 2020. Like, it was just too profound. It was just too profound for me. Like, it was just like an awakening, right? It was just like that awakening. Like, God was just, in 2020, like, when everything shut down, God was doing something new. I don't even want to talk about it here. That'll be another hour for me on here talking about that. Yep. Yes, yeah, he'll do it. And Kevin Howard, you know what? People are not going to understand, right? They're not going to understand. Yes. Everyone needs God. Yes. The disabled, homeless, we all need them. Able bodies, we all need them. But people are not going to understand. That's another thing. People have tried to humanize God. And I'm going to say this and I got to go. We cannot humanize God. God don't do things that make sense to the human mind. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do things that make sense. It'll make sense to you afterwards. But it's not going to make sense to you up front. I had to realize that. Like, God is calling some people, you got to quit your job cold turkey. And people looking at you like, quit my job? Quit? Who gonna walk away from my 401k? I've been at this job 40 years. That's the problem. You've been at this job 40 years, but you ain't do nothing God told you to do. I've been at this job 40 years. I got my 401k, and when the pandemic hit, everything was getting wiped away from people, left and right. So we got to depend on God, right? We got to depend on him. God calling people to walk away from their jobs. People looking, they looking at you crazy. Girl, you walking away from your job? What's wrong with you? How you going to take care of your family? How you going to take care of your children? God. Obedience. He'll make room. He'll make room. He'll make room. Yes, God is doing that. Julia, he's doing a lot of that. I did a video that God is calling you away from your family for a season, and it went viral. So many people can relate because he's doing that right now. He's doing it. He's doing it in this moment. He's doing that. He is so doing that right now. Moving people, you know, away from their families, separating them. And people think, and that's what I tell people, when I say, people think God is just homeboy down the street or something. Like he's just normal. Like I don't know. They just think he does things that make sense. And you know a lot of things, you know what else too? You know what I've noticed? People have, yes, one in each family, Larry. Yes, yes, sir. You know, people have humanized God to the point where anything that doesn't make sense to what we've been taught in school, education, this is not logical. This is not educational, you know, to the metrics of the, you know, this doesn't make sense to the thesis of, you know, you get my drift, right? I know I'm being a little extra, but you get it. It doesn't make sense to the logical form. How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? You know, how are you going? God don't operate like that. He's looking for you to be obedient. He's looking for you to be obedient. That's why so many people lost their jobs. So many people lost their jobs because the jobs were their God. And God had to show people, you're not relying on me. You're not relying on me. You're relying on this job. Yes, you're relying on this job. You're not relying on what I could do for you. And when they took them jobs away, people were losing their minds. Oh my goodness, my job, they fired me. You know? Yes, it does. Faith looks so ignorant. Like, what is wrong with you? You crazy. Yes, faith look like you done lost your mind to the world. Yes, it does. Because people, and that's just a testament that everybody doesn't hear from God. That's just a testament that everybody don't rely on God. That's a testament. That's a testament. Because you should be able to see, a person who could see should be able to see that that was God. Right? Yeah, evidence looks better. That's why he called it a faith walk. He walked by faith. That's why I love the book of Eli. Have any of you saw the book of Eli? I think that should have won a Grammy. I just love that story. Whoever came up with that concept, the book of Eli, right? Just go watch that movie. Watch that movie. That was just powerful to me. That was a powerful movie to me. It's old, but it was Denzel Washington. He should have gotten an Oscar for that. He played that role. He should have gotten an Oscar for that. But see, that type of stuff is not going to get an Oscar. It's not going to get an Oscar. But who needs an Oscar anyway? So that's man-made. But anyway, but that was a good movie. That was a true faith walk. When I tell you, the power of God was all up and down that movie. It was all up and down it. Yes. Yes, Ash. But it was more so that he was protecting the word. Yes, he was protecting the word. He was protecting the word of God. You know, before he went on his journey, he was blind. He was a blind man. And he gained his sight back, right? He gained his sight back, and he had to memorize the word. He memorized the Bible. He was a walking Bible. He memorized all of, yes, they were trying to kill him. Yes, he memorized the whole Bible. And he said something told him to go west, and he started going west. And he'd been traveling west until he got to, like, you know, civilization, right? I don't want to tell the whole story, but yes. That part. It's just that faith walk for him. He believed, and, you know, God sustained him. You saw God was giving him food and all of that. I said I wasn't going to tell, but it did get a little too good. He was giving him food, like, just, you know, sending him stuff as he went. He had everything he needed to get, right? to get to the other side, to get to civilization. And he started speaking the word of God, and he was able to recite that entire Bible, and they were able to reestablish and put the Bible back into, you know, into the libraries. Like, he was able to tell the guy who had to record it, he was able to tell him everything, all the scriptures in the Bible. I'm like, man, that's powerful. And then he went on to glory. He went on and died off. And then someone else, you know, the girl went on and I guess finished doing his work on earth. But that thing was powerful. I'm getting chills talking about it. Yes. Yes, it was a good movie. And I didn't understand the spiritual implications of it because, you know, I was just like Denzel. I was just looking at it from Denzel. And I was like, let me show you something. Look at him going up for a man and look, getting the word. Going up for Denzel and got a whole, you know, some whole revelation in there. But thank you all for coming with me. For real, Ash. Thank you all for coming, hanging out with me this afternoon. I appreciate you all for listening in. I hope something I said helped you, right? Helped you and gave you, hope I dropped some gems and some nuggets. And I'll be coming on more often, doing lives more often. So, you know, be blessed. I hope y'all have a good evening. Thank you, Larry. Thank you so much. Yes. You are welcome, Frank. You are welcome. Thank you. I have to learn to look at the camera over here. But I thank you all for hanging out with me. I really do. I just had to come in and you are welcome, Rubia. You are so welcome. I hope you received some gems. I didn't mean to make you laugh so much now. You know, I'm going to have to charge y'all for my comedy. I'm going to have to charge y'all for my comedy. I'm just kidding, but that's just who I am. That's just who I am. But I appreciate you all. Seriously, I appreciate you all for stopping by. I appreciate you all for interacting with me. I appreciate you all for, you know, sharing with each other in the comments, you know, like just the encouragement, inspiration, the family. This is family, right? This is how family is supposed to be. You come and encourage one another and give each other information and, you know, just, you know, share and be there, you know, give good advice. Yes, I enjoyed you all. So I'm going to get off here. Hopefully, I'll be back on another time later this week. I know I won't be on tomorrow, but I'll try to come back, okay? You be blessed.